It's a reason why I had to start this off like this, because Yahuwah, God, is a God of order. Okay. And he clearly states that there is a time for everything. It's a reason and a season. And for me to have been up for 24 hours plus and doing all the things that I was interacting with, it's a time and a season. Yahuwah will come, not when you want him, but when he comes, he will be right on time. Right on time. So, disclaimer, if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do it my way. And I understand to some people that I may be long-winded, meaning like I got a lot to say, but guess what? I got a lot to say. Okay? I do. So it's always going to be a story time with me because I got stories to tell. Okay? So if you're here for the story, you're going to get it. You know? And trust and believe. I don't believe in wasting words. I love words. Okay? Because all you need is the right one or two of them to make a statement. You know? And some of them can be complete whole sentences. And it's only one word. Like, no. Period. You know? Leave. Period. Stop. Period. So, yeah. If I'm saying it, it means something. You just, you know. And at the end of the day, I know many aspects can touch people in many different ways. And I ain't gonna say like it's brave of me all the way to just, you know, tell my story. But it is, you know. And everybody got one. That's for sure. But mine is mine, you know. And yeah. So that, I'll say that. And so, just, you know, give me a little grace. I'm new to this. I'm not, you know, no social media queen, never been like off subject, you know. I got like 600 followers on my nail page on Instagram. That's it. You know. I'm in the process of growing my YouTube channel. And I'm gonna post these on my other YouTube channel. So if you're here from YouTube, same goes. Okay? It's gonna be raw and uncut from TT. I can be TT. I'm turning 40 this year. And I'm done, pretty much. I'm done and I'm tired of being in the shadows, being quiet still in my life, tiptoeing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to hurt nobody else's feelings, or if they'll be like, oh, she lying, that ain't true, or whatever like that. It's okay. I got receipts for a lot of things. Even to the point, my receipt's so good. You asking for trouble if you try to come and say I'm lying. You're asking for trouble. Yeah, because I learned a long time ago, and that's another story too, that what you gotta lie for? You lie because you're scared of the outcome. You don't know what the outcome gonna be. So and then if it's not what you want it to be, then you stuck. Like, in the end, you just ain't getting what you wanted to happen. Like, say in relationships, if you lied to them because you didn't want to break up. Or you lied because you didn't want them to know the truth. You out here in these streets, but you lie. Say, no, I wasn't, or I wasn't doing this or that. You know, you scared of the outcome. But this is the main thing that I believe. That God has not given us the spirit of fear. It's written. So I use that, and I'm like, if it made me scared, I'm going to do it. I don't care how crazy and how reckless it is. I'm going to do it. Because that fear, it's not coming from God. It's not coming from you. It's coming from somewhere else. So since I'm afraid of it, I'm going to do it anyway. Deal with the outcome. But anyways, yeah, so thank you. Okay, so how I met my first husband. And yes, there was a second, but that's another story for another time. But my first husband, I was 21 and I had made it through basic training and I went to AIT. So when I was in AIT, I had a boyfriend who I had met in basic. He was in the military too. And so we was together and we was going to try to do, the long distance relationship situation still while we were supposed to training, because neither one of us knew what duty station we was going to get. We only had a list of things. And I was with him. He came and visited me there one time, and then we broke up. Because I broke up with him. I told him that I didn't want to do no long distance relationship when I found out that he was going to another place that was really, really far from where I was going. But also, too, because I wanted to be single and mingle. So, because that's all that was going down, for real. So, it wasn't like we was married. But, yeah, he was a sweetheart. He a butthole now, but still a sweetheart. Anyways, so my ex-husband was in the same unit situation in AIT. Basically, we was training together then. And one day we was in formation and they had let us out of formation. So it was still folks just still hanging around talking, or whatever. Cause I guess it was a weekend. We was about to have our weekend to ourselves. And so I fell out, whatever like that. And then I had hollered at a few of my own folks or whatever. And I was about to leave. So he walks up to me and he was like, hey, you gonna give me your number? And I looked at him and I said, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, you want my number? You really want my number? Oh, I was hoping that you would ask me for my number. Hold on. Let me give you my number. And when I'm not just doing this for effects, this is literally, I was extra overly excited saying this to him. And he couldn't read sarcasm. So I gave him my number. This was back in the day, honey. They had this fake number that's called the rejection hotline. And when you dial it, it rings and then it says just that. You have reached the rejection hotline number. You have received this number because of the following reasons. 1, you're ugly. 2, I don't want to talk to you. 3, blah, 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 blah. Just went down a list of things, right? But it was hecka funny. Because no, you can't have my number, my real number, because at the end of the day, you's a hoe. he was a hoe, man. He had already been with like 4 different girls. I don't know. He was with girls, okay? I seen him with one. They had this big old toxic spill out. Then he ended up getting with another girl, and she was like the Puerto Rican mommy, you know what I'm saying? But from New York, so I'm a little hood or whatever. So, and rumors was going around that, you know, he was packing, like he had caught something from fooling with them. So that was a big no, and red flag. So yeah, I turned him down. And then the next time he saw me, he came up to me, he was like, ha, oh yeah, that was a good one. And I was like, yeah, I know. No, he did not get my number, even after that. And see, he is fine. Okay, he fine. So I guess he thought because he had some waves and he tall and, you know, big lips, and he, you know, he was fine. I didn't care. No. Y'all, when I'm outside and I be walking and recording, I be looking at these cars like, can y'all get out my way? Y'all can see I'm trying to record, right? Like, I ain't in their way. But it's just the fact that, dang, don't nobody want to hear these car sounds, you know, in the background. But anyways, so fast forward, we getting out of AIT. Now we about to go to our duty station. So bet. So I, you know, spent my little time with my fam, whatever. Then it was time to, I had got my first car. Well, my first leased out buying situation car. A newer model. It was a 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer, dark blue. But anyways, so I drove to my duty station. So they got this thing called replacement. So it's basically you just in this basically like y'all in this building together, and I mean, you know, it's like a girl could stay next door, a guy could stay next door, or whatever like that. We all got a communal spot or whatever, and we're waiting to be put in a unit. So when I got the replacement, guess who was there? We're gonna have to give him a name. Let's see. A name. You know what? Let's just call him Jack, man, because he was a Jack donkey. You catch my drift. AZZASS. Yeah, so Jack. So Jack was at the replacement center with me. So I'm like, oh Lord, we done got, you know, in the same daggone duty station. Wasn't expecting that. So anyways, we still got to do our regular thing. We doing PT. We, you know, going through the works, learning about, you know, life, how our life was about to change from basic and AIT, because they're both just completely different. And so every now and then he would try to, like, you know, flirt with me or, you know, try to have a conversation with me. But I still wasn't trying to hear it, because basically that had put a really bad idea of him in my head and taste in my mouth. So then come the time when we about to get put to our unit. So they sent a truck to come pick us up, and they're like, okay, if you in this unit right here, you know, come this way or whatever like that. And man, kind of find out we in the same unit. So they was like, this is the address that you got to go to for those who got cars. You know, you could follow us in the convoy, or you could just head over there. And if you won't have a car, then you can you know, get on the truck and put your bags and stuff on the truck and let go. So I seen him walking out all sad, because he got to get on the truck with everybody else, while, you know, a couple of his homeboys got whips, you know. but they car is full because they, you know, got other girls and other people in their cars or whatever. Because I don't know, didn't nobody want to ride on the trucks like that. And I had my own. So I'm taking my bags to the car, and then I said, you ain't got no ride? I said, you want to catch a ride with me? He was like, yeah. So I let him ride with me to the unit. And it's like, ever since that day, when he rode with me to the unit, we was basically inseparable, pretty much. If I were going to the store, he was going to the store. But we was just like, just keeping it real, like casual, like, you know, homeboy, homegirl type situation. And so let me think. Hold on. Now I remember the thing that ended up making me kind of like give him the benefit of the doubt was, I am not like a crowd follower, and I didn't think I was a people pleaser. But like, I had already knew that much about myself, that I wasn't finna be hanging around no women like that, especially if they had already gave me a different type of vibe. So whenever we had like broke from doing our training or whatever, I would just go chill somewhere, and it'd just be me, and I'd just be chilling by myself, like, and I'm good, you know. And I noticed that he was doing the same thing too. He wasn't really like hanging out with guys like that. He every time I look and I'm standing by myself, he was standing by himself. So it made me think, go ahead. It made me think that oh, he must be like me, like he independent, he ain't gotta have no crowd of folks around him, like, you know, he could stand on his own or whatever like that. And so I was like, okay. So I started being nicer to him. And then so we had this, like, I think it was like a 4-day weekend, and I was gonna go to Charlotte, because I was in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I was gonna go to Charlotte because my mom and my sisters and them was there. So, you know, most 4-day weekends, people is like going to the beach, or, you know, going home real quick and coming back, because that's just how it was. The military kept tabs on us. So I seen that he wasn't doing that. I seen he wasn't doing nothing, and he was staying there. So I was like, well, I'm going to Charlotte. Did you want to ride with me? I said, we're going to be at my mom's house, though. We're going to be staying there. And he was like, yeah, that's cool. So, child, this is how I fell for him. Like, no kind of standards. So, we riding, and it's like a 2-hour drive, give or take, a little more. And, I'm just talking. You know, I'm telling him about my life. I'm telling him about how I was in high school. I'm telling him, like, you know, I'm that girl, like, for real though. And not in that sense, but just like, you know, I moved out my mom's house early. I didn't have no kids, and, you know, wasn't nothing really happening big time like I wanted it to. I felt stuck in Columbus, so that's what, you know, made me leave. But anyways, the whole trip, I'm just talking, and he just listening. So I thought. He wasn't listening. That boy was just being quiet. But let's just say he was listening, and I just thought that was so sweet. You know what I'm saying? And I think I got from him that, you know, his mom, and he did say his mom and dad, his brothers, but that's about it. We didn't really have no real deep conversation. Okay, so we get to Charlotte, you know, he meets the fam. We sleeping in the back room. There's bunk beds in there. And we pretty much just hung out. I think we went shopping a little bit. But we was just pretty much just chilling at the house. You know, he was just hanging. Like, he was my homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they asked, was we together? I was like, no, we don't go together, nothing like that. Like, you know, just he ain't had nowhere else to go. And so I asked him, did he want to ride? So he said, yeah. So, because really, I ain't want to, you know, ride by myself. Because, shoot, the drive to Fort Benning, honey, this was back in the day when we had to have, the app where you could get the directions, but we ain't have like the GPS going on situation unless you had to get the separate GPS to put in the car, and I ain't do all of that. What is not Google Maps, MapQuest. So I had MapQuest, and when I took, I guess, the wrong turn somewhere, I was, ooh, child, I had to get a regular map. I had to figure it out. So yeah. We in the room together or whatever like that, and then I watching a movie. I forget what we was watching, but we ended up getting, I don't know how the conversation got to where it got to, but we ended up going to the store to get some more drinks, whatever like that. So I went in and I had got the drinks, but then I had grabbed a pack of condoms because I was like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But just in case. So anyways, yeah, we ended up doing the do. And then, so I guess that basically sealed the deal that I was his girl and he was my guy. So we get back to our duty station, and then like just kept kicking it, you know, hanging out, going out to eat, you know, I'm driving and stuff like that. Now, as we were dating or whatever, it was dating, but it was like, I don't know, we just never separated from each other. We was always up under each other, and you know, he would go hang out with the boys. So first red flag. So he was like, Jack was like, me and my homeboy, we want to go to the PX, can you take us? And I was like, sure, you know, I ain't had nothing going on. So him and his homeboy had got in the car and we drove to the PX. So I found a nice little parking spot in the front, and I parked, turned the car off, and he jumped out, his homeboy jumped out. I'm grabbing my bag and I'm about to get out. I'm about to open up the door, and he was like, where you think you going? Mind you, this the first time he didn't really talk to me like this. He's like, where you think you, you think you going? And I was like, I'm going in the PX. He was like, no, you not. I was like, yes, I am. He said, no, you not. And if you get out this car, you gonna, he said, you better not get out this car. You gonna find out what gonna happen. And I was like, okay, I don't know what he mean by that. So I didn't get out the car. I sat there for a minute and I thought about it, and I was like, that's weird. Like, you know, why would he talk to me like that? And that sounded like a threat, and I'm too grown to be threatened. So after thinking about what he had just said to me, I politely drove off. And I left him and his homeboy there. So by the time they get back out and they, you know, looking for me, he calling me, where you at? I said, I left. He was like, what? You left us up here stranded? Da, 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 da. And I was like, yeah. I said, because who was you talking to like that? And you're not finna be talking to me like that. And so that was that. I don't know how we ended up making up for that. My thing is, okay, so I grew up in, I ain't gonna say I grew up in this era, but it was around this time pretty much where people say to me, when it comes to relationships, and they'll be like, the best way to get over a man is to get a new one, right? So, he's still having his little spouts with me, and I'm not liking it. So I'm like, I'm about to break up with him. But hold on. If I I did stand my ground when I left him, but the thing is, I should have never took him back after that, because he was showing me who he was. I just didn't believe it. And I don't know if it's because he was charismatic. I don't know if I was dematized, yum yums matized, or what. But I had plenty of people wanting to holler, and I was looking for something that was like more like grown man, grown woman stuff. So I ended up having this crush on a sergeant of mine, and he was always messing with the basically like loud talking, booty shaking, eyelash looking like butterfly wings. You know what I'm saying? Party girl, city girl situation like that. But he used to be so kind. He was like a really good sergeant in the fact that where he would talk to us, and then he'd make it seem like he really cared about you as a person. And so I remember one conversation I had with him. He was like, so tell me about yourself, tell me about your family, what makes you tick or whatever like that. So I was like, that's what's up, but that had made me like him even more. So I was going through it with dude, and I was like, I know I'm about to break up with him, so I'm finna go and find me a new one. So I emailed the sergeant, and I told him how he's just like the type of guy that I would want to be with, someone that's kind, caring, that ask about me and things like that. And he had emailed me back, and he said that yeah, you really need to leave dude alone. You deserve better. You shouldn't have to deal with stuff like that. And then I had wrote him back, and I was being grown. I said, well, if I was your woman, I would do this, this, and this, sexually. And that was that part. Okay, so the thing about the sergeant was he was extra friendly, like borderline, like he joke around with you, low key flirt with you, say little stuff that shouldn't have really been said. But at the end of the day, we were all looking at it as, well, we grown, right? But there was boundaries that wasn't supposed to be crossed. And so the first email that I sent him, it wasn't like saying I wanted him, but I did. But it was basically saying that but when I wrote it, I wrote like, you're the type of man that I would want to be with, like that has all those attributes that I listed. And his first email back to me was not, it could be read wrong if you didn't know, but he didn't say like, oh girl, I want to be with you too, or no, I ain't feeling you, or nothing like that. He just was kind and said, well, you deserve better than what you're being treated and everything else like that. So I was like basically confiding in him, because me and Jack had went through something, and I was just like, this is crazy. Yeah. So I done gave y'all enough tea. That's like the setup of the beginning. This is before we got married. So my next part is gonna be leading up to the getting married situation. But it's still more stuff that transpired before that really happened. So we're gonna call this next part before the deployment. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, peace.